Hello students, welcome to aimsindia online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are going to discuss about the chapter changes around us. Okay, let us see the introduction part from this chapter in this session. Any alteration of substance from its original shape, size and state is known as a change. But the changes occurring around us can sometimes be reversed and sometimes they cannot be reversed. Those changes which can be reversed are termed as reversible changes, like rolling of roti, melting of ice, melting of wax. These all are reversible changes, isn't it? In this, one substance is changed into another, and again the original substance can be brought back by changing the conditions. Such kind of changes are called reversible changes, whereas those which cannot be reversed are termed as irreversible changes, like cooking of food, baking of a cake, baking of roti, tearing of paper and many more. These all changes can be done, but these changes cannot be reversed. We cannot get back the original substance from those, isn't it? Such kind of changes which cannot be reversed are called as irreversible changes. About these we have studied a little in the earlier classes. The changes can again be classified into two types. Okay, let us see another type of classification here. They are namely physical and chemical changes. Okay, first let us see about physical changes. Physical changes refer to the changes in the physical properties of substances such as shape, size, color and state. So these changes are reversible in nature generally. In a physical change, no new substance is formed. So now we can define these physical changes as the changes which occur in the physical properties of the substance, like shape, size, color and state only, are called as physical changes. In the physical change, there will be no change in the composition of the substance. The chemical composition will be remained same even after the change also. Only there will be change in the physical properties like state, color, size and shape. Only there will be change in these only. But the chemical composition will remain the same in a physical change. Let us observe the following change. Take few pieces of ice in a beaker and heat them as shown here. What happens when you heat ice cubes taken in a beaker if you heat them? So we can observe that first we notice that ice slowly melts and becomes water, isn't it? And on further heating, this water changes into steam. Then in the reverse way, if you reduce the temperature, the water vapor changes back to water, and when temperature is further reduced, it changes to ice. So what's happening here? The change can be reversed. First we have taken solid ice cubes. On heating, they are converting into liquid water. So the state changed from solid to liquid. On further heating, this liquid water changes into liquid gaseous water vapor. So the state changed from liquid to gas. Again on cooling, water vapor converts into liquid water on cooling converts into solid ice. Okay, so we observe here that the change of state of ice to water and to water vapor, but the substance water remains the same. This is important point here. Even though ice converting from solid state to liquid state and liquid to gaseous state, the chemical substance water remains the same. The chemical formula of water will be remained the same in solid state, liquid state or gaseous state, whatever are formed there. Chemical composition is being remained same. No new substance is formed in this. Okay, so the changes of this type, where there is no formation of any new substance are known as physical changes. Okay. In our daily life, we observe many changes. In the changes like melting of ice, solidification of ghee or coconut oil in winter, etc. So, in these changes, there is a change in state of the substance, isn't it? So, if you see ice converting into liquid, we know ice is a solid state of water. On heating or when it is kept outside, ice converts slowly into water form. So, this is change of state from solid to liquid state. And often in the winter season, we observe at our homes ghee or coconut oil kept in a jar. It will be solidified in the mornings if you observe because of coolness. So here liquid converted into solid. So in these kind of changes we observe change in state of the substance. In certain processes like filling balloons with air and pumping of cycle tubes, etc., we notice the change in shape, isn't it? If you take a deflated balloon, its shape will be different. When air is blown into that, then the shape will be bulged. There we see the change in shape of that object. In the same way, cycle tire tubes also, tires and tubes. When air is filled into them, the shape will be changed. Okay, here in these cases, in these changes, shape of the substance is changed. Okay. Now let us see the characteristics of these physical changes. One of the ways to bring about a physical change, some external force or energy has to be applied. So by applying certain energy or force, we can make this, we can do these physical changes. For example, opening a door. We push the door or we kick the ball for changing its position. So in this we apply certain force or certain energy to be happen these changes, isn't it? Another one, the molecules of the substance remain same after the and before the change. So there will be no change in the molecular composition of the substance. For example, on dissolving sugar in water, the properties of sugar and water remains the same. They won't change, isn't it? So there will be no change in the molecules of the substance before and after the change also. Those changes are called physical changes. One more. Physical change is a temporary change. On removing the cause of change, the substance regains its original form. So these physical changes are temporary and reversible changes generally. So by removing the cause of that change, the substance regains its original form. For example, an electrical bulb glow on supplying electrical current, isn't it? And it comes to original state on switching off the current. So when you switch on the light, it glows. When you switch off the current, it will be off. So this is a temporary change. So physical changes are said to be temporary changes and reversible changes. Okay. Now let us see some more examples for these physical changes. Tearing off a piece of paper. It changes its shape and size, but the paper molecules, whatever the molecules with which paper is made, they won't change. Only there will be change in shape and size of the paper. So we can say it is a physical change. Next one, kneading of flour to dough changes its state, isn't it? Next one, melting of ice. So when ice melts, it converts into liquid form, but there will be no change in its molecular composition. So it is a physical change. Next one, rolling of roti or chapati. Then also it changes its shape, but no new substance is formed. Okay. Next, crushing of iron tins or cans. So the cold drink tins or cans, after completion, if we crush them, what happens? They change their shape, but no chemical composition will be changed. It remains the same. it remains still the tin, but its shape is changed. So we can say in these all changes what we have observed now, there is only change in physical properties like size, shape, color. So because of these changes are said to be physical changes. Now let us see another category of changes, that is chemical changes. A change in which the identity of the original substance is changed and a new substance or new substances are formed is called a chemical change. It is irreversible change, means we cannot get back the original substances taken in easy way. It is difficult to get back the original substances generally in chemical changes. That is why these chemical changes are said to be irreversible changes, because new substances are formed in these changes. In chemical change, the properties of the substance gets changed. For example, souring of milk, burning of paper, burning of candle, rusting of iron, burning of magnesia ribbon. So if you observe these all changes, there is the formation of a new substance and the properties of the original substance taken will be completely changed. Isn't it? If you burn a paper, what happens? It converts into ash. So its properties are completely changed. The properties of paper won't be remain now. So isn't it? Such kind of changes will come under chemical changes. There are various chemical changes taking place in our body also. For example, digestion of food, it is a chemical change. So many kinds of chemical changes will occur in the digestion process of food. And even air we breathe is used in respiration. Okay, there also some chemical changes occurs. That food, the energy will be, the food converts into energy. In these all processes, so many chemical reactions occurs. Now let us see the characteristics of these chemical changes. Chemical change is permanent and irreversible, means the change, once if it is occurred, the reverse of the change cannot be possible generally. For example, on heating some sugar crystals, its color changes to brown. This brown colored substance formed cannot be converted back into sugar crystals. So it is a chemical change and even irreversible change. So when your sugar crystals are heated strongly, we know a brown colored caramel will be formed. From that brown colored caramel, we cannot get back the original sugar crystals which we have taken. So it is an irreversible change and it is said to be chemical change. Okay, next, a new substance with different properties is formed. So a new substance is formed which has entirely different properties from the original substance which we have taken. For example, on heating a mixture of iron and sulfur, a new compound iron sulfide is formed that has different properties than iron and sulfur. So if you take a mixture of iron pieces and sulfur powder, if you heat that strongly, then immediately it forms iron sulfide, which is a new substance and has completely different properties than iron and sulfur. So here a new substance is formed which has completely different properties, and the reverse of this process is a little difficult. So it is said to be irreversible and a chemical change. Okay, next, a chemical change involves change of energy. For example, heat is given out in burning of paper or in burning of wood. In this, while burning a paper or wood, heat energy is emitted out. In some cases, energy might be absorbed. So finally we can say in chemical changes, exchange of energy is involved. Sometimes in chemical changes energy might be evolved out. In some chemical changes energy might be utilized. So energy changes occurs during a chemical reaction generally. Chemical change can be represented by a chemical equation. So the representation of a chemical change by using their formulae and symbols of the chemical substances participating and being formed is said to be a chemical equation. Okay. A chemical change is also a chemical reaction because the substance will be changing into another form. So it is reacted there. That is why you say a chemical change is also said to be a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction may also be accompanied by change in color, production of sound, change in smell, or formation of certain gases like smoke. So this also will be accompanied by the formation of new substances in the chemical changes. Okay. Now let us see some more examples for the chemical changes here. Burning of magnesium ribbon. You might have seen magnesium is a white color strip in the laboratories we can observe. So when magnesium ribbon is burnt, it burns with a brilliant white or dazzling white flame. And when completely burnt, it leaves behind a powdery ash. White colored powder will be remain back. So that powder formed here, it is a new substance because magnesium reacts with the atmospheric oxygen while burning and forms magnesium oxide. So the equation for this chemical change can be represented like this. Magnesium reacts with atmospheric oxygen and burns to form magnesium oxide, which is a new substance which has completely different properties than magnesium and oxygen. Okay. So the powdery ash is different from magnesium. It is called magnesium oxide. So the burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change because here new substance is formed when magnesium is burnt. The new substance formed is magnesium oxide. One more example let us see. Reaction of blue vitriol with iron. Blue vitriol is a blue colored solution of copper sulfate. Okay, copper sulfate will be in the blue colored crystalline substance. So if it is dissolved into water, it forms a blue colored copper sulfate solution. If an iron nail is dipped into this blue colored copper sulfate solution and allow it to stand for a few minutes, then the blue color of the solution changes to green color. The green color is due to the formation of iron sulfate due to the reaction between copper sulfate and iron. So first if you take blue copper sulfate solution, it will be in the blue color. If you dip a iron nail into that and if you allow this to stand for a few minutes, around 30 minutes, then what happens? Slowly this iron reacts with the copper sulfate and forms iron sulfate, a new substance, and thus the color of the solution changes to green color because the color of iron sulfate is green. So initially it will be in the blue color, finally it changes to green color. So a new substance iron sulfate is formed and the color of the substance is also changed. So we can see the equational representation chemical reaction occurred here as this. Copper sulfate, which is a blue colored solution, reacts with iron and forms iron sulfate solution which has green color, and copper will be deposited on this iron nail. So iron nail will be seen becoming brown because of the deposition of this copper powder. Okay, in this way this comes under chemical change because there is formation of a new substance. Next, spoilage of food is also a chemical change. The change in color of slices of apple that is kept in open for some time represents a chemical change. This we might have observed in our home also. When an apple is cut and if it is left in the air for few minutes, we can observe the slice acquires a brown color. This brown colored substance is different from the original substance of that apple because the molecules in that white color substance slowly reacts with the atmospheric air and forms a new substance which is seems in brown color. So we can say as it is a chemical change. Similar change in color are also observed in case of slice of potato or slice of brinjal, isn't it? While cooking food, often at our homes we observe, when brinjal are cut and left for a few minutes in the open container, slowly they will be browned. Their color changes to brown color. That is also a chemical change. Okay. In this way, the spoilage of food also will come under chemical changes. Neutralization reaction between acid and base results in the formation of salt and water. Since new substances salt and water are formed in these reactions, these are also said to be chemical changes. So neutralization means we have studied a little about these neutralization reactions in the acids, bases and salts chapter. What you have studied there? In this neutralization, an acid and base, they react each other and they mix each other to form two new substances called salt and water. As new substances are formed in this change, that is said to be chemical change. Another one, in the process of photosynthesis, new substances are formed. What is that photosynthesis means? The process in which food is prepared by the plants by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmospheric air and water from the roots. These two will combine in the leaves and they form their food in the form of carbohydrates and they release out oxygen gas. So what we have to observe here, initially the taken substances are carbon dioxide and water. These are changed into carbohydrates and oxygen. So new substances are formed which are having entirely different properties from the original substances taken, and hence this photosynthesis is also one of the examples for chemical changes. Okay, that is about physical and chemical changes. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates and recorded videos.